Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this live edition of Turnaround Marriage. And we are delighted just to hop in for a few moments with y'all today. And I'd love for you just to hop in, share where you're at too. Love to know where you're coming in and listening to us from. And you can just comment that in the chat. But we just wanted to drop in today for a really important message, one that's dear to our hearts, obviously very focused on what we do. And really, we're talking a lot today about all the craziness that's gone on. Like 2021 is not exactly a whole lot easier than 2020 is either, is it? And so, we talk to a lot of people out there, and a lot of people that they're struggling in their marriage, they're feeling disconnected from their spouses. They're looking at many of the challenges that have come up in this past year, because that's been the agitator. That's been the thing that they have seen that's changed, and it seems to have impacted their marriage. Therefore, in their minds, it's like COVID has really killed the closeness, like and the struggles, the political era we live in. All of that has served to hurt our closeness.
Yeah.
So if that's you, or if it sounds like it might be what's affected your relationship, and you're wondering, what has impacted the closeness? Because I was feeling closer to my spouse than I am now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Has crazy killed your closeness, right? I mean, the craziness in the world is it's almost like none of us can even believe that this is where we're at with the state of things. But we are Scott and Rachel. We help committed Christian couples finally end the cycles of conflict, negativity, and disconnection, and reclaim the love, passion, and playfulness that they once had. And I know for us, the craziness in the world over the last year and a half or year plus has really served to draw us closer to each other.
That's true.
It has been the catalyst that has really helped us to help really get on the same page, really make sure we understand where each other's coming from and what we believe about certain things. And it's really helped us to come together. But just a few short years ago, I think if we had been going through this storm, we would have probably not made it, because we didn't know how to talk about the differences in how we saw the world and what was going on. And the craziness probably could have sent us easily over the edge.
It's true. And I think most of the time we were just trying to get by. We're trying to love each other, trying to get through, focus on our kids. And you're right. It definitely was. It was a struggle. But what struck me today most of all was, we hope that in our marriages, we're going to have a connection where we can depend upon each other. We can trust each other, that I can share with you, some of the deepest, darkest parts of my heart. I can open everything up to you, and you're still going to love me. And we're still going to have that closeness. And that's wonderful. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to open up and have that connection, and then to have the belief that we're going to be really partners in raising our children together, that we're going to be on the same page about discipline and other things, that we're going to look at the world in a similar manner. And what struck me today is that there's something even greater than that. And it's something that is new in the last few years for us. And I think it's been cultivated in this season of COVID-19 and the political season and everything else going on. And that is this. It really, truly feels like that you are, because it's so fresh, it's kind of hard to even put into words. But I feel like you are the part of me that I need when I'm frustrated. You're the part of me that keeps me balanced when I'm not necessarily wise. Yeah. And I guess that the heart of it is this, is I know in my heart of hearts that God has brought us together and that I need you. I do. I'm not on this journey alone. It's not just me and we're this partnership, but there is a closeness that God has brought about that is a whole lot more than I ever thought it was supposed to be.
That's so sweet. And it's really because we've done the hard work of learning how to share our hearts and really listen, learning how to hear the other person without just getting ready to give your defense or state your point of view. And I think for so many God-honoring Christians that are out there, they love God, they go to church, they're trying to raise their kids the right way. It's hard. And in the craziness, it's really hard. Maybe there's been a layoff, or there's been the challenges of the financial or health concerns, or just seeing our world kind of just crumble and our country
extended
just
family
kind of
even.
Yeah. And so all these pressures can sort of bring to the surface the stuff that was maybe swept under the rug or just overlooked or just, and it was like you didn't really learn those skills of how to really share your heart, how to really hear each other out, how to really get on the same team. And so for many people, I think that are out there they're God honoring, they love God, they love each other. They are just so frustrated because they can't seem to see the world the same way. They can't seem to really hear the other person out or get on the same page and be a team again. And so that disconnection has started to creep in, and there's been those frustrations that maybe you've just stuffed because you don't know how to handle it. And so you just stuff it and go, well, I'll just put up with it and be the good spouse. And you think by just overlooking things and sweeping them under the rug, which there is a time for overlooking, right? Love covers a multitude of sin. But it's like when these things are building and building and the resentment is coming and we just go, well, I'm not going to bring it up because I know what's going to happen. That never leads to closeness and connection. That never leads to intimacy at all levels because there's walls there.
Absolutely, it's true. And I think this is the heart of it. This is the heart of it for a lot of people out there. When we talk about closeness, what does it mean? What are you aiming for? What are you as an individual hoping your relationship's going to bring? What, in other words, what is God's best for what this should be? And I think a lot of people are just thinking it should be like the movies. Like it should just flow. Everybody should just get along and be happy. Or they're thinking at very best, it's just going to be a partnership. You're just going to love each other, get along, do life, and it should be easy, fun, and no problems. But what if that's not even what they should be aiming for? What if all the movies are leading you astray to something that's far less than what God designed it to be? What if you got in alignment as a couple with following God's best for communication, like you were sharing, opening the communication lines open, keeping those open, talking, communicating where your heart is, having really good navigation of conflict, and getting that, actually drawing you closer together instead of dividing you. If you can get on that path and the path of what God has designed marriage to be, a place of closeness, belonging, of vulnerability, of being able to express yourself. And not only that, but knowing that God has brought the two of you together because you are not enough by yourself without her and without him. What if they've never been aiming at that?
Yeah, that's so true. Because I think and maybe it's not even just the movies, just distracting people or getting you off target, because certainly the enemy of our soul wants us to think that, well, if you're having any fights in your marriage, you should really feel ashamed, and you're all alone and nobody else is struggling. And, if you were a good Christian, you wouldn't do that, or you wouldn't feel that way. And sometimes I think people don't know what to do with these feelings. And so they just stuff them, or they numb them, or they whatever. And then they're not really able to share those feelings and just be heard by their spouse. It's not like your spouse needs to fix you, but if you can get to the place where you can just share where you're coming from, your perspective, and how you're feeling about it. There's something so powerful about it, because God did create this mysterious, mystic union. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, a beautiful book, Sacred Romance, it comes to mind. It's like, what if marriage was there to make you holy, not just happy, right? So many of us, we say I do because we think, well, you complete me and you're my soulmate and, you make me happy. But then when the laundry piles up and, all this, what'd you say?
When skies are blue, you make me happy. When skies are blue.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You're going to start quoting other songs?
No, I'm not going to sing either.
Okay, good. But now I'm off track because I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, we can get all these ideas about what marriage is, but what if marriage is just supposed to be a picture of Christ and his church, like Ephesians tells us? What if this is a place where a way that God builds his kingdom, right? With two broken sinners who have to extend grace and forgiveness and love to each other. What if this is just a picture of the gospel? Like we're broken and we're needy, and yet God is the one who fills us up and he meets our needs. So we're kind of rambling a little bit, but our hearts are heavy because the craziness in the world, we just were struck today that, like, my gosh, so many people out there are probably the crazy is probably driving them further apart. And yet in this last year, we've been able to really come closer together. It's like we're more unified. We're more on a team. And we're here to tell you that if maybe it's been a long time since you've been close and connected, or you really don't know how to share your heart, we're telling you that you can get a turnaround in your marriage relatively quickly, and it doesn't have to take you forever, and it doesn't have to be super painful. Okay, we're here to tell you that just with a few 1-degree changes in several areas at once, you're on a radically different trajectory. You have a very different outcome. You have a very different everything. Okay, so we're here to tell you there's hope for you. Okay, if you're one of those God-honoring Christian couples that is just struggling, and the craziness has got you worried and anxious and fearful, and you don't know how to share it with your spouse, you don't know how to get on the same page, we're here to offer you some help and hope.
That's absolutely true. And I do think, it's true also of our clients that they have recognized in both last year and this year,
For sure,
that when you start shifting where you're aiming, everything can change. It's really aiming towards what God designed marriage to be. And that's the heart of what we're saying today. That's really the heart of it. If you're aiming to get your needs met, that's the wrong aim. If you're aiming to make sure the kids are taken care of, that's the wrong aim. You hear what I'm saying? If you're aiming for the marriage to be enough that I can get by, that's the wrong aim. God has designed it to be the most wondrous place of belonging that we could have here on earth. So yes, if you're out there today and you're hearing this and you're like, yes, we need to get on that path. Absolutely. There's some great resources out there, obviously connecting in prayer with one another, you having your devotion times, seeking the Lord together in worship service, whatever it would be. You know a lot of the means of grace that God has provided for us, that we should walk in those paths. But if you're out there and you're realizing, boy, I hear what you guys are saying, but I sure wish I had a clear way to get there. It seems like things are so convoluted and confused, and you don't see a path forward. I just want to encourage you to reach out and book a call with us. You go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call. And what we do in that free breakthrough call is talk about where you guys are stuck, where you've been looking at the circumstances of where you're at, and then talk about where you hope and dream it should go. And that's really talking about God's best for your marriage. And if I can help you guys to get from where you're stuck to where that is, we'll absolutely paint that picture and let you know what that would look like for us working together. But if not, we'll point you in the right direction. Love you, serve you, pray for you. So guys, just encourage you to do that. We don't have a lot of slots left this week. We fill up really quick. I think we've got one slot in the next couple days and then a few later on in the week, but even those are filling up quickly. So just encourage you to book that call, turnaroundmarriage.com/call. And look forward to you investing the best 45 minutes you've ever invested in your marriage and us having a great talk together.
Yep. So we're looking forward to seeing you on that call. And until next time, we'll see you and wish you a very happy Sunday.
Blessings.